Good morning, students. I welcome you all for the online session of Business Studies classes. Myself, Padmaja Reddy. As we have learning the last class about the privatization and liberalization, the economic policy in 1991. The third policy during that 1991 was left out. That was the globalization. The word globalization, the meaning itself is clear. It means integration of the various economies of the world leading towards the emergence of a cohesive global economy. In simple terms, if we want to learn the globalization, it means the world connected globally with each other for, for both the for profit as well as for business. That is known as globalization. In this globalization, one more thing can be created between the countries, that is friendly and peaceful relation that was earlier considered as competitive. So, as more and more countries were indulged in doing business, there will be having a peaceful and friendly relation which can increase the economic development of the whole world together. So that time India also recognized that globalization must be done where freedom must be given to the businessman as well as the people to do investment in foreign countries as well as foreign investor can do the business in our country. So that's why the term was made, that was globalization. Globalization means the integration of various economics of the world leading towards the emergence of a cohesive global economy. Till 1991, the Government of India has followed a policy of strictly regulating imports in value and volume terms. This was done so that more and more people will be dependent on our own goods instead of foreign goods. Because of that, import was having high tax as compared to export. So that was reduced by the government in 1991. These regulations were with respect to licensing of imports, tariff restrictions, and quantitative restrictions. The new economic reforms aimed at trade liberalization were directed towards import liberalization, export promotion through rationalization of the tariff structure, and reforms with respect to foreign exchange so that the country does not remain isolated from the rest of the world. Globalization involves an increased level of interaction and interdependence among the various nations of the global economy. I think you are it is clear to you people that by the way of globalization, the government tried some of the measures which can make the good relation between the different countries and easily the foreign investment can be brought to our country so as to increase the value of Indian currency. Licensing of imports was done. Tariff restrictions and quantitative restrictions were done. The new economic reforms aimed at trade liberalization means end of license system within the business. Import liberalization has been done means freedom from import license also was done. Export promotion through rationalization of the tariff structure was done. Physical geographical gap or political boundaries no longer remain barriers for a business enterprise to serve a customer in the distant geographical market. This has been made possible by the rapid advancement in technology and liberal trade policies by the government. So this was a globalization. Through the policy of 1991, the government of India moved the country to this globalization pattern. The main aim of doing globalization of the government was of the nation by the government was because so that more and more investors can come to our country as that time investors in a number of investors in our country was less, and if investors number will be less then industries number also will be less, and it will create give birth to many types of problems that time. That was unemployment problems, poverty problems, then industrial number was less, as industrial number will be less, income of the nation will be less. So these type of problems India was facing, and to reduce these problems globalization was done so as to cure many of the problems of our nation and to make upliftment of our economy. A truly globalized economy, it means free flow of goods and services across the nations, free flow of capital across nations, free flow of information and technology, free movement of people across borders. a common acceptable mechanism for the settlement of disputes, a global governance perspective. These are the points which will make in your mind much more clarity about globalized economy. The globalization was done for following things: that was free flow of goods, import and export can be done easily. Whatever goods are not in our country we can import from outside country, and same way we can export those type of goods which are less in other countries or which are lacking in other countries. This way a good business relation can be made across the nation. Free flow of capital across the nation, has I said, not only our country where was having the problem of capital, less capital, but other countries was facing the same. So this free flow of capital across nation had helped many countries to solve the basic problem of capital. Anyone can who is having the capital and interested in our country can do investment in our country. Same way the businessman in our country can do business in outside country by doing an investment in outside business. Free flow of information and technology, and has that time our country was totally dependent on agriculture, so technology was zero that time. So to bring out the technology, money is needed. That time money was also not there by the government. So to encourage the technology to come to our country, they had make the freedom of the foreign investors and foreign businessmen to our country, so that freely the information and technology can be brought with this businessmen of foreign to our countries. As they will come, the technology will can also be easily brought by the way of them to our nation. Free movement of people across borders, this had helped the people to get job. If they were not getting the job easily in our nation, they can go to outside country and they can go do the business job there. And the same way it helped other peoples also to come to our country and do business easily with a less income, with a less capital in our country. A common acceptable mechanism for the settlement of disputes was a main motive of globalization. A global governance perspective. It means the government must make such measures that can connect the two countries from business point of view as well as from human point of view. That was the topic globalization. I think the three topics are very clear, that is globalization, privatization, and liberalization. These three words are the economic policy of 1991. That time government find that more and more changes must be done in the government policy so as to make the upliftment of the economy of our nation. So these three policy help the government in many way so as to make upliftment of the nation. The next topic which we will be going to learn is demonetization. So demonetization, in a short, we can learn now. Demonetization, the government of India made an announcement on November 8, 2016 with profound implication for the Indian economy. As I know, this thing you have practically faced in the year 2016, where demonetization was done and economic and the monetary value of the country was changed by the government. They had made the currency of our country to be changed into new currencies, and that time the old currency were totally blocked by the government. So that was a policy they was considered as demonetization. Actually the word demonetization means change in the currency value of the country, that is considered as demonetization. The government of India made an announcement recently that we had faced, that was November 8, 2016, with profound application for the Indian economy. The two largest denomination notes, 500 rupees and 2000 rupees, were demonetized with immediate effect, ceasing to be legal tender except for a few specified purposes such as paying utility bills. This led to 86% of the money in circulation invalid. The people of India had to deposit the invalid currency in the banks, which came along with the restrictions placed on cash withdrawals. In other words, restrictions were placed on convertibility of domestic currency into bank deposits. The aim of demonetization was to curb corruption, counterfeiting, the use of high denomination notes, that was 500 rupees and 1000 rupees, which was commonly used that time by the people, that was reduced by the people for illegal activities, especially accumulation of black money generated by income that has not been declared by the tax authorities. This was a demonetization done by the government with the objective which we have learned now, to reduce the corruption in our country, which was done in a big way with a bigger number of notes, that was a 500,000. Features of demonetization. Demonetization is viewed as a tax administration measure. Cash holdings arising from declared income was readily deposited in banks and exchange for new notes. But those with black money had to declare their unaccounted wealth and pay taxes at a penalty rate. That was the main thing done by the government, and many people face this problem. Demonetization, the main feature, was very helpful to the government to reduce the number of people, those who were not paying the tax. Demonetization is also interpreted as a shift on the part of the government, indicating that tax evasion will no longer be tolerated or accepted. It also encourages the people to less the tax theft, and to encourage the people to do more and more tax paying, so that they can be safe from the penalties of the government. Demonetization also led to tax administration channelizing savings into the former financial system. Though much of the cash that has been deposited in the banking system is bound to be withdrawn, but some of the new deposit schemes offered by the banks will continue to provide a base loan at lower interest rates. Another feature of demonetization is to create a less cash or cash little economy. As that time, demonetization increased the online payments of the money. In that way, cashless economy can be done. It means the paper money importance will be reduced, and the online payments can be increased. Thus, channelizing more saving through the former financial system and improving tax compliance. Though there are arguments against this, as digital transaction require use of cell phones for customers and point of sale POS machines for merchants, which will only work if there is internet connectivity. On the contrary, these disadvantages are counterbalanced by an understanding that it helps people into the formal economy. So this was the main aims of the demonetization, or you can say the features of demonetization, which has made cashless economy and given importance to make the transaction to be more clear by the two parties as well as before the government, so the government can understand where the money has to be transferred, thereby increasing financial saving and reducing the tax evasion. Tax evasion means the theft which the people were doing by not paying the tax at the proper time, and not paying the tax to the government. That is considered as tax evasion. That was reduced by the government by bringing the demonetization on 8 November 2016. Next class we will be going to learn impact of government policy changes on business and industry. I think the topics which we have learned today, it is clear to people. Thank you.